The time is just gone 9:45 a.m. We continue with the broadcast this morning, and we're going across now to be joined by HOD of Fund Development at Islamic Relief. We're joined by Abdul Aleem Hamza. Abdul Aleem, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, Brother Inayat, as well as the listeners of Salam Media.
Yes, Abdul Aleem, we know the month of Dhul Hijjah is still with us, but Qurbani over, and Islamic Relief has had the your Qurbani program, but I'm sure a lot of work still lies ahead, particularly when we're talking about distribution of Qurbani. Just perhaps briefly, if you could take us through Islamic Relief and your Qurbani program, how did that go?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All praise and thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Indeed, we are blessed and fortunate to be speaking to you once again on this Thursday morning. We speak about our Qurbani program. Meat has been packed, sealed, and is delivered, if I can call it as such. Alhamdulillah, it has been a very successful program. And indeed, we are very fortunate working with, implementing partners. We're working with service providers that set high standards for themselves. Staff, to make sure that we've reached the vulnerable of communities, and also to make sure that we are able to slaughter the amount of cattle that we have across the country, make sure that it's all cleaned and ready, packed, and ready to move on. Because the individual and the recipients are waiting. They've waited, and so alhamdulillah, they've received their Qurbani packs already for this year. So it's been a resounding success from ourselves here at Islamic Relief in terms of a Qurbani program. And we want to thank everybody who's participated in this, who's made it possible, who's given us their Qurbani to oversee and given us the amana to fulfill on their behalf. And also for the fact that we have time, for our to speak to our service providers to make sure that everything has been met. So alhamdulillah, all good, inshallah.
Yes, and we know that this Qurbani meat reaches people in a number of provinces in the country, the Western Cape, Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, and also the whole question surrounding distribution. And it goes to many, many people, and I'm sure there are thousands of people, Abdul Halim, that actually benefit from the Qurbani.
Alhamdulillah, indeed, we speak about South Africa and we speak about the various provinces, but alhamdulillah, we've been able to speak about Southern Africa. We speak about Zimbabwe as well. We've been able to facilitate in Lesotho as well as in Swaziland. So thousands of people have benefited from this. So many communities. You can work out if we slaughtered 300 cattle in South Africa, that is 2,100 shares. And out of that, what component comes out of that? So we've been able to deliver over 15,000 in South Africa, over 15,000 meat packs to families. So you multiply that by the number of people in the family, alhamdulillah, you can see the extent to which we've been able to get to so many people. So we deal with people who are facing poverty, food insecurity, vulnerability. We look at the elderly, orphans, widows. Just to mention about a few, and there's also internally displaced people. Like we know, we look at refugees, and that goes again when you speak of refugees. It's not only a phenomenon here in South Africa, but it's a global phenomenon. When you're looking at parts of Turkey, where we have refugees housed, we're looking at so many people that's being internally displaced. So this provides, as we know, from Qurbani and meat, it provides nourishment. It provides, ability for us to reach so many people. Alhamdulillah. So we have been working around the clock. The team have been working around the clock. They've sacrificed the day of Eid, the days that follow, the days of Tashriq, to make sure that we're able to these animals are slaughtered, cleaned, packed, and delivered to the most vulnerable communities. Alhamdulillah.
What message, Abdul Halim, would you like to share with those who have supported Islamic Relief's Qurbani program?
Brother Inayat, it is first and foremost, we would like to thank our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for giving us these blessings, the bounties, the strength, the health to fulfill this amana. Secondly, we'd like to thank, our supporters, our donors, who has made this possible for us to fulfill this expectation of the most vulnerable communities. We have our volunteers that work tirelessly around the clock, sacrificing their time, giving up of their time to make sure that we are able to deliver on the expectations. And then obviously the staff at Islamic Relief that has worked again, to make sure that we are able to facilitate, we are able to engage, we are able to meet the standards, the high standards that have been set. And Alhamdulillah, I can say, we have done what has been expected of us. And inshallah, next year we will strive to more and reach more families, inshallah.
Abdul Aleem, obviously, Qurbani is once a program that takes place during the course of the year, but there are other campaigns, emergency campaigns, and I'd like to touch on Yemen. Now, this is an emergency campaign that is run throughout the year by Islamic Relief, and we know that this campaign will again gain momentum. It will be emphasized during the coming weeks, and perhaps if you can just share some insight. Stats I know are horrifying as far as the current situation goes with regards to the aftermath of the conflict in Yemen and how this is impacted on the lives of the Yemeni people.
Brother Inayat, you speak, and we spoke now about the Qurbani campaign, which starts and ends at a certain time. However, the suffering of our brothers and sisters in places like Yemen, there's no start. There's a start, but there's no end in sight. And the end in sight and the help that is required is we're looking at 20 million people struggling to find the next meal due to ongoing conflict. And can we imagine what that must be like? That's almost half of the South African population, maybe a third these days. The crisis hits children, 2.3 million children under the age of 5 suffering from acute malnutrition, and 400,000 facing severe acute malnutrition. Now, just to give us a bit of insight with regards to that, when somebody is severely and acutely malnutrition, they cannot ingest food as it is. They get fed with a paste, and there's a cost to this paste. So these children need to have the space available. And, it's only through efforts and donations from our donors that we are able to facilitate, and we must just bear this in mind that it's a ticking time bomb, really, as people are not able to assist these children, and they are losing their fight against this being severely malnutrition. We're looking at 7 million people without access to healthcare. 7 million people, the basic needs, subhanallah. Water, mashallah. In South Africa, we know that, most of the country, we've received good rainfalls over the past little while. But in Yemen, 15 million people don't have access to clean drinking water and water for sanitation. And we know when we spoke about 2020, we go back to COVID, and we need to remind ourselves again, wash and sanitize, wash and sanitize. If you don't have water to wash, it obviously impacts on the health risks that do exist. So Yemen is, 21.6 million people requiring assistance for necessities such as food, water, shelter, hygiene kits, and the list continues, and we can sit and we can be speaking about this every single time. But many times, and we are grateful to the radio station of Salam Media for allowing us the opportunity to highlight the plight of our brothers and sisters in Yemen. Because if this is not highlighted, mainstream media doesn't talk about it. We forget about it. It's not a discussion point. It's not topical. It's not important, whatever it is. So we must start having these conversations. We must remember our brothers and sisters in Yemen, because we will be held accountable in how we respond to this. We need to make dua for them. We need to raise our hands and make a difference and do something to assist them. And thirdly, whatever monies we have, we will be able to contribute. Yes, we can say we just come out of Qurbani, we pay so much or whatever. But, let us not be wasteful in how we spend our money. Let us invest our money not only in this world, but in the year after as well, inshallah. So here's an opportunity again that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us about the situation of our brothers and sisters in Yemen. And we are reminded about the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when he said that this ummah is like one body. When one part of the body feels injury and pain, the entire body feels it. Are we feeling this? Are we experiencing this? Are we researching this? Are we making an effort to make a difference? Are we living this? Telling the sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that this ummah is one. We care about our beloved brothers and sisters. Here's an opportunity once again. Let us speak into our pockets. Let us speak to our families and friends and help and make a difference to the lives of these perhaps severely and acutely malnutrition children. Or maybe we make a difference to families and provide food, or we provide water indeed, that will count on our scale of good deeds on the day of Qiyamah when we're standing in the court of Allah and we're looking for good deeds, and there will be this mountain of it based on the goodness that we've done and the fact that we are responding to a call right now for assistance for our Yemeni brothers and sisters, inshallah.
Well, Jazakallah khairan for that and all the information, Abdul Aleem, for people to open up their hearts to donate to Islamic Relief's Yemen Emergency Appeal Program and also some of the other initiatives, all of it on your website.
Yes, indeed. You can go to www.islamic-relief.org.za. All the information is there, all our campaigns, we call it campaigns, but basically all our efforts to assist our brothers and sisters elsewhere and locally to make a difference to their lives. You can decide where you want to give your money and how much you want to give. And inshallah, if you want to volunteer, bismillah, go ahead and complete the volunteer forms on our website and volunteer your services, because again, even that is an opportunity for you to draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Well, Jazakallah, as always, for your time, Abdul Aleem. And we wish you well. We wish everybody at Islamic Relief well. Allah accept, Allah reward your efforts. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
HOD of Fund Development at Islamic Relief South Africa, Abdul Aleem Hamza. And we're going to go for a break. We come back. We'll be joined by owner and principal at the Emergence Group, Jenny Dupree.